My name is Mary Lee Carter. I'm with Parker University in Dallas, Texas. And we've had a long relationship with Body Swaps. I'm going to go over that for just a minute, but I'm the Assistant Director of Learning Innovation, and it's just a fancy way of saying I get to explore and work with faculty to incorporate immersive technology into their classrooms. And we work with several different applications, but one of the ones that we have had the most success with and is actually the easiest for us to present has been Body Swaps. So let's go ahead and get into that. A little bit about our university. We are a private nonprofit health sciences university in Dallas, Texas. Our largest program of 28 is our Doctor of Chiropractic. We're one of the 18 North American chiropractic programs in the US. We started working with Body Swaps in 2022. I became aware of Body Swaps through a colleague of mine in Canada, and was very intrigued because I really wanted an opportunity to use some soft skills. I love the example, Chris, that you said of the flight simulator of soft skills. And so we started with a single device. I was able to get approval to purchase a single device license, and started showing that to various people in the programs. And then in 2023, we were a grant recipient, and that allowed us the opportunity to really show it off in a number of ways, including at our career fairs and just some of our conversational opportunities. That led to a 2-year institutional license, and we've just renewed, this past year, renewed our second 2-year institutional license. And the beauty of that means that I can roll it out anywhere to anyone without worry about how many headsets, how many students, I can use all the things. And so I love the ability to do that. So I want to talk about 3 of the use cases that we've been doing consistently across our campus. At the sonography, we have a diagnostic and cardiac sonography program, and we've used the job interview practice before they do a faculty mock interview. And what I really love about the AI role play is that I was able to customize this for this last cohort. In fact, we just did their simulation about 3 weeks ago. And we uploaded a job description to customize it so that we could get specific questions about an entry-level sonography student who was graduating. Our second one is our Doctor of Chiropractic, and that's a mental health crisis. We've been doing this now for a year across 3 cohorts, and we do it as part of the communications course, and we offer them the opportunity to be with a patient who's expressing thoughts of self-harm. It gives them a safe place to practice that. And then finally is our geriatrics pathway, which again is also part of our Doctor of Chiropractic. These are students who are about ready to go into clinic. And so they do 2 different. They do a dementia, which is a pretty standard off the shelf. And then they have a hearing impairment with a patient who is hard of hearing, who asks them to repeat themselves. And I've added reflections and quiz questions in that as an assessment. So again, for our sonography students, it allows it to be customized so we can do a clinic or a hospital setting regardless of what type of environment they might be working in. And because we do a lot of research at Parker University, I collect surveys, optional surveys. And so I'm trying to speed them through some of this process, and I use the questionnaire to just let them know that a survey will be offered to them afterwards. It is completely voluntary, even though the exercise itself is not voluntary, and it's just a good way of getting into that informed consent for those students. With our preclinical DC students in the communication, one of the things that we're finding for a lot of you, a chiropractor may be an entry level into the healthcare system, and so regardless of the type of care that a patient may present with, they bring their whole selves into the clinic. And so our students who are seeing patients for the first time will, do a complete systems, questionnaire and health history. And we're seeing more and more patients who are coming in with just incredible stories of things that they're going through in life. And it can lead to a lot of mental health issues and mental health crises. And so it gives our students an opportunity to practice these skills and just hear those words from a complete stranger, and gives them a chance to experience what that's like in a safe way that can be repeated, that will cause absolutely no harm to a patient. We have an expanded pre-brief. We talk about different resources that are available to the students and anyone in their lives that might be experiencing mental health crisis. And again, that questionnaire is just another way before the exercise to remind them that they have these resources, that they can discontinue the simulation if it is too much for them to go through. It just gives them another way to just to reiterate those things. For our geriatrics course and our geriatric students, again, these are preclinical students, and we focused on the dementia patient because it was something that, again, more and more of our students are actually seeing patients coming in for one reason or another who have dementia, and just a way of having empathetic conversation with them. We've added, again, those reminders that there will be a survey offered, and then a reflection question that they can use their own words to answer, or they can type them out. And then my professor was so excited about the success of this the last term, she asked me to create an AI role play for a hard of hearing patient. And so we just deployed that with our students about, again, this term, about a month ago. And it was really fun to sit and listen to the students as they're talking to the patient and saying things like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Jones." They'd referred to him by his first name. And so that was a customization that I could add in. It includes a questionnaire, a survey disclaimer, and then some knowledge checks at the end. So I'm just going to quickly go through these scenes to show you what it looks like for me. When I create a pathway, I start with the pathway and I decide how I want to structure it. I have a disclaimer, and then I'll customize the role play. And there's the AI tool now that is available to help you create it. Makes it so much simpler to do because I know exactly the types of things that I want to include. And then at the end, I will create a quiz. It might be a 3-question, a couple of yes or no's, multiple choice. It can be a Likert scale. It can be free text. Then I'll create the class. And what I like to do is I pre-enroll my students. I used to have them self-enroll, but I pre-enroll them, making sure that I've checked that they have that option. And I use the QR code for all of the students to scan the QR code, but I can also give them the class code. So some of the outcomes and the impact after a year of scaling this, we started with about 75 students that went through. My largest cohort in the fall, I had over 200 students, and I was literally going back to back to back, 15 to 20 students at a time. But overall, it was very positive. They reported that they felt more confident in having these conversations and being ready to go into the clinic. Our faculty in the clinic said they felt like they were more prepared and they just felt more comfortable in those patient settings. We were able to use the learning pathways to support the consent, the reflection, to give them optional surveys and quizzes. And it was just an improved way of giving equity to our students. So they were all able to enroll in that and experience that, whether they had access to hardware at home. It just gave everyone the opportunity to do that. Some of the lessons that we've learned and what we're hoping to do next. First of all, psychological safety is the most important thing. I have a simulation background in traditional medical simulation. And so psychological safety is so important that these students are able to come in and to be able to experience this. We have structured pre-briefings, especially for these intense scenarios. And, you know, the technology is great, but the debriefing is really where everything happens, that reflection time. And whether that occurs as part of the pathway or it occurs with the faculty back in their classroom later, it's still really significantly important to have the debriefing. And yes, bulk enrollment, that has been a lifesaver for me. So what I do is I do a bulk enrollment and I download the list and email addresses of my learners in that class from my LMS. I export that into a CSV file, and then I import that using the bulk enrollment tool in Body Swaps Go. And it has saved an enormous amount of time, because then again, they're not focused on how do I scan the QR code? How do I get my name, type my name and my email address? All they have to do is find their name, and then they're enrolled. And it's less about the hardware and less about the software and more about the experience. One of the most exciting things that we are looking forward to is with our clinic docs, I'm working on a virtual OSCE pathway, and I'm using the AI role play so that we can create specific structured points that they want their students to be able to meet so that they can practice for their in-person OSCEs that are necessary for graduation and for their board exams. So this has just been a really exciting. The Pathways has been a phenomenal upgrade, and the AI role play and the ability to create those and customize them. I can't tell you how excited we all are about that. So if you'd like to connect, I'm on LinkedIn. You can scan this QR code here. My email address is underneath, and I love to share. So many people have shared with me over the years, and I am happy to provide that information.